What a game in Brooklyn. Absolutely wild. 8 seconds left. Brooklyn's down 3 on the inbound. A chance to tie here. Royce O'Neal looking for Mikal Bridges. He cuts back. And it's an errant pass right into the hands of DeAnthony Melton. Layup good. 102-97 is the final. Series over. I mean, you got to win 4 games, but this series is over. No team's ever come back down 0-3. This game really was wild. First 3 minutes of the game, Nick Claxton stepped over Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid kicked him in the backside. Did not get ejected. Got a flagrant 1. Claxton got a technical foul for stepping over Embiid. And then it was really a sluggish game for a while for the 76ers. Doc Rivers at one point, do you want to win this game? Like it was almost as if they were kind of sleepwalking. James Harden got ejected in the third quarter for hitting Royce O'Neal in the groin area. And then really a turning point for Brooklyn. 9 minutes to play. They got a 5-point lead. And Nick Claxton gets tossed for taunting in the direction of Joel Embiid. And what happens next is the 76ers go on a 20-10 run. They close it out, led by Tyrese Maxey, who scored at one point 10 straight points for the 76ers. He went for 25. Maxey himself outscored the Brooklyn Nets 10-5 over the final 3 minutes. Welcome in former NBA Coach of the Year, Avery Johnson. Is a player helped the Spurs win an NBA championship in 1999. Avery, what a wild game in Brooklyn, Game 3. Let's start really, though, with the turning point for the Nets. About 9 minutes to go, Nick Claxton, who already has a has a technical in this game, gets called for taunting. He's ejected, and then the 76ers pull away. What did you make of that moment in the game?
Well, it wasn't just that moment, Hakeem, even though it was big. When you have a game where Joel Embiid scores 14 points, James Harden gets ejected, which I think probably is the worst flagrant 2 ejection in NBA history. And I can say that because I've been in and around the NBA since 1988 with the old Seattle Supersonics. That was horrible. So he gets ejected. Claxton gets ejected. And the Philadelphia 76ers win this game by only scoring 102 points. Harden gets ejected. Embiid scores 14 points. But this kid, Maxey, goes to work, leads his team to victory. He's been averaging 23 points in these playoffs. He was phenomenal. 11 points by Milton off the bench was critical. But again, if you had told me Joel Embiid would score 14 points in this game, even if I had not known that James Harden would have gotten ejected, I would have thought that the Brooklyn Nets would have won this game.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and you played during the days of hard-nosed basketball. It feels a little soft right now. Things feel a little soft in the NBA, all right? So I get it. You kick somebody, you're probably going to get ejected. Joel Embiid kicked somebody, didn't get ejected. You step over somebody, it's a big sign of disrespect. Okay, you're going to get a technical foul, you're going to get a flagrant, get whatever they decide to give you. James Harden hits a guy in the groin area, you get ejected. I get that. The taunting? Like, where are we at? I get it. We're in a society, and we've got to consider everybody's feelings, and where everybody's emotional. This is professional sports. And we're in the heat of the moment. We're in the moment of battle. And Nick Claxton's going to have a little beef after he makes a big bucket, and then we're ejecting him from the game in a playoff game where there's so much on the line.
If James Harden got ejected for that little elbow to the groin, Joel Embiid should have been gone, okay? Because of that kick to the private area. That was very intentional. The NBA and its referees, they have to be very consistent. They had a bad night tonight. Let's face it, Hakeem. I've had bad games. Obviously, there are folks around the country, that's on both sides of the Draymond Green suspension. I thought based on the kick, the stump, the foot, he should have been ejected from the game. The suspension is debatable. But tonight, if you're going to eject James Harden for what he did, Joel Embiid should have been gone a long time ago.
Yeah, it was weird. It was, I don't know. It was odd. Like, I don't, this is not, we're in the playoffs. Like, Nick Claxton throws down a dunk and then he gets ejected for taunting. Like, as a fan, I don't want to I don't like the whole idea in the NFL they took out taunting. I'm not trying to go down a crazy road because my producer's going to start yelling at me like, you're going off on a tangent here. Get back on line. Let's go get back in line. Stay in your lane. But it's like, that's what's happening here. In this situation, that was a huge turning point for Brooklyn. Brooklyn had a chance to win this game, Avery. And then what's one of their best players. Nick Claxton is an awesome player for Brooklyn. And that just took really, without sounding too cliche, it really took the wind out of their sails. Having him go off the floor, and then Tyrese Maxey was outstanding down the stretch, to your point.
He was phenomenal, sensational. Local Dallas kid. I recruited him when he was in college. He played for Mo Williams Elite. AAU. He played for the Houston Hoops. I know this kid, his dad Tyrone. I go way back with this kid. He was sensational tonight. Big three, 96-96. He makes a huge three. This kid is, wow, they better pull out their checkbooks for this kid in a couple of years. But we don't want to take anything away from him. We just want a level of consistency. And we don't want the fans of the NBA, especially in the playoffs, even if it's the Golden State fans or the Sacramento Kings fans or the Brooklyn Nets fans or Philadelphia. We don't want these fans to get shortchanged. We want those players, unless it's something totally unnecessary, we want those players to be able to remain on the court and give their teams a chance to win games.
Yeah, let the players play the game. Let the players play. Let them play. Let them play. I mean, we say this all the time. Joel Embiid had a tough night, really, for his standards, right? I mean, he's led the NBA in scoring the last 2 seasons. He's the favorite to win his first MVP award. 14 points on 5 of 13, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a huge block at the end of the game that was critical there to keep it a 3-point game. Excuse me, a 2-point game. But it almost was as if he was getting banged around. And you heard Doc Rivers say, "Do you guys want to win this game?" To me, did you think there was a question about the effort? And I know Philadelphia pulled it out in the end; they won. But was there an effort concern there for you with the 76ers?
Well, coaches always have to do something to motivate their team, especially when you're up 2-0. You know, unless Philadelphia falls down or they go to a restaurant during the course of the game and they're eating filet mignon or Happy Meals, hey, they're going to win the series. So Doc is doing whatever he needs to do to keep his team motivated. But give Joel Embiid credit, and this is why I love him, and also a guy like Giannis when you're talking about MVP conversation. When you're not getting it done offensively, how can you contribute to your team's success? Huge block there at the end of the game. Some folks may have thought it was a goaltending, but he came over. He was in the right position. He blocked that shot. Jokic can't make that play, but Joel Embiid can make it.
He did. He made it. He made the plays down the stretch when they needed to be made. Tyrese Maxey was excellent in this game. It all adds up to a 3-0 series lead as the 76ers improved to 7-0 against the Nets this season. Sweep. They'll look to sweep on Saturday in Brooklyn as Tyrese Maxey stepping in and stepping up, right? James Harden gets ejected. And look at Tyrese Maxey outscoring the Nets over the final 3 minutes and 8 seconds of the game, 10-5. He finished with 25 points, and Philadelphia has a 3-0 series lead. Let's head back out to Brooklyn.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.